One, two, three, come on!
Hello everyone, it's me again, Mara Flor Hamon, a third-year college student from Bukidnon State University. So, in this video, I want to share to you my learnings and my studying about the monetary economics subject. In this course, the monetary economics subject contains 12 chapters. Before I start, the monetary economics course is the descriptive title, which covers the nature, function, and the importance of money to the economy. Also, it includes central banking, monetary policy, and theory. This course provides students with a wide appreciation of financial institutions and how policies are shaping up. In Chapter 1, learning those concepts and introduction of monetary economics, which particularly concern with a relationship between the rate of growth of money supply and the rate of inflation. To develop our economy, the government together with the central banks implement a monetary policy to improve the way of living and how people deals to the function of money with their life. Money does not mean income or wealth, rather money is an asset acceptable in exchange for goods and services. And that's how monetary economics define money. Where it is true, we know that people cannot live without providing their needs and wants of them. And to provide, they need to find job, earn income, or money, buy those goods and services just to survive in this life. And in Chapter 2 of our lesson, after knowing the definition of money, we go through to the evolution of money. Living in this world for almost 20 years, I found out that the evolution of money and how the economy is shaping our lives from time to time. Starting to the oldest way of doing business, it called bartering, where people trade goods and offer another goods or exchange both parties without involving money. In early money, they used different items as money, include beads, cowrie shell, the one that is valuable, and grains in another item, and many more. They began to use coins between 600 and 700 before Christ. The coin made from metal that were minted by the local ruler or king. After coins, they used paper money, invented by the China throughout around the world. Includes the pound sterling currency of the United Kingdom, dollar for the United States, euro for the European Union, and official currency of Japan was yen, and the Philippines we have pesos. And in the year 1950 to 1960, credit card was launched by the bank used the form of payments. And after credit card, we have then debit card used as money. For Chapter 3, History of Philippine Money is what we've been discussed and learning this history from the website of Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. History from pre-Hispanic era, Spanish era in year 1521 to 1897. Revolutionary period in the year 1898 to 1899. Then 1900 to 1941 American period. In Japanese occupation year in 1942 to 1945. After the new Philippine Republic that was established year 1949. For Chapter 4, learning the characteristic, classification, components, function, and the type of money. There are 6 characteristics of money: durability, portability, divisibility, uniformity, limited supply, and acceptability. Money classified into 3 as a commodity: the full-bodied money, representative full-bodied money, and credit money. It is clear that the main components of the supply of money are coins, paper currency, and demand deposit or credit money created by commercial banks. We found out that the function of money is a store of value, a unit of account, and a medium of exchange. There are also 4 types of money: commodity money that relies on intrinsically valuable commodities. Fiat money is a paper money made by legal tender. Fiduciary money, means of payment, refers to banknotes and coins. And the last, commercial bank money, made by book money. In Chapter 5 of our lesson, learning the money supply process and control. Still, we discussed the money supply, in which it refers to supply of money circulation. This not limit only the production of paper money or coins by the BSP, but the entire money available in the economy. And the money supply process, in which it is the process on how money is the circulation changes, including the four main players who control the money supply process. We have central bank, banks, depositors, and the borrowers. Learning this process of money supply, that the BSP are the one who take responsibility to control everything. They also plays a major role in the money supply process. First, finding the total reserve, finding the money multipliers, required reserve, monetary base, checkable deposits, and money supply. All of these processes have formula to be answered. In Chapter 6, learning the changes in money supply. Bank is a second player of the money supply process, wherein they determine the important things that exist, reserve, and amount of money banks lend to borrowers. The reason why it changes them in money supply due to the reserve requirements set by the BSP, lending and financing transaction of the banks, deposit of the depositors, and the borrowing of the borrowers. Depositors are the third player of the money supply process, refers to individuals or institution. For this process, and formula use was different through this concept. It shows that more depositor, the higher the player supply would be. The same to the fourth player, which is the borrower. The many the borrower are, the greater the money supply would be. Again, BSP are the one who controlled money supply. And how they controlled? There are three processes: by open market operation, process of reserve requirements, and the process of discounts rate. In Chapter 7 of our lesson is tackled about the types of demand for money. When you say demand for money, refers how much asset individual wish to hold the money. It is related to income, interest rate, or free per to hold. For this lesson, there are three types of demand for money: the transaction demand, precautionary demand, and speculative demand, in which each of these categories still relate to my personal experiences throughout life. So, transaction demand for money refers to the demand for money by the public to buy goods and services, which is affected by the level of income, time interval, price level, and the volume of employment. And there are also two classifications: the income and business motive. Precautionary demand refers to the desire of people to hold on to cash balances for unforeseen contingencies such as sickness or accidents or any financial emergency. The last demand will be the speculative, refers to guessing the change of value on an asset to make profit. In short, wish to hold the money rather than buying assets. In Chapter 8, learning the transmission mechanism of monetary policy. Transmission mechanism refers to the connection between demand and supply of money and affects to aggregate demand. To illustrate the transmission mechanism of monetary policy, we just use the graphical illustration and flow chart, where, as you can see to the graphical illustration, MD is the money demand curve, MS is the money supply curve, A and small o is the monetary equilibrium point, I and small o is the level of interest rate, and M and small o is the level of quantity of money. Also, three stages in monetary transmission mechanism. We have changes in MS or MD curve, changes interest equilibrium rate. Changes in equilibrium interest leads to a change in desired investment expenditure. Change in desired expenditure shift ED curve. In Chapter 9 of our lesson, we tackled about the different theory of monetary policy. We tackled about the different theories of monetary policy, the classical, Keynesian, and modern monetary theory. Every theory has different variety of ideas, objectives, and goals. The classical theory of monetary policy has different character and policy recommendation, only concentrate to managing the money supply through monetary policy, and take basis of monetarism and to the concept of Adam Smith called laissez-faire, wherein believing his own perspective that the economy can't work well alone by the government, but also with the help of market forces. But comparing to the Keynesian theory, there is a big differences because according to the British economist John Maynard Keynes, he greatly emphasized that the economy can't work well also without the government regulating through fiscal policy, a policy that may adjust spending and tax rates. It is good to use fiscal policy, especially during recession. Keynesian suggests also to the economy that it's better that the government borrowing is necessary to help increase the overall aggregate demand. Both theories have different character, but this last theory, modern monetary, have own objectives and views, believing that if government create or print money as many as they want to solve the unemployment and payment debts. This idea comes from Warren Mosler, an American investment fund manager he developed in the year 1970s. There's always a will for every situation. True to the view of theories, it can help to educate the mind of people for avoiding mistakes. And in Chapter 10, Learning the Evolution of Monetary Policy. How monetary policy evolved throughout of times as well as how banking started. First, it started the goldsmith and the origin of banking system. Second, the adoption of the gold standard. Third, the first central bank and the first monetary policy. And fourth, the first bank in the US and the birth of the Fed. Next, the Great Depression and the abandonment of the gold standard. The Flat Money Authority. And for 7, it involved the creation of BSP, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and established on July 3, 1993. Then the BSP in the post-Marcos dictatorship. Last will be the evolving of BSP monetary operation in 21st century. In Chapter 11 of our lesson, it tackled about the monetary authority and financial market. I've learned that monetary policy refers to a policy laid down by the BSP to manage the money supply and interest rate. Monetary authority refers to entity that manage a country's currency. On July 23, 2018, President Rodrigo R. Duterte signed into a law Republic Act 11-11 and Act amending Republic Act 7653, otherwise known as the New Central Bank Act. This is hereby established an independent central monetary authority, which shall be a body corporation known as BSP, hereafter referred to as a Bangko Sentral. And there are 5 types of financial markets. Financial market as a nature of asset. Financial market as a nature of claim. Financial market as a maturity of claim. Financial market as to delivery timing and as an organizational structure. And for the last chapter, learnings about the Philippines and the world major economy. In this lesson, I've learned about the similarities and differences of the monetary authority and policies of the Philippines, our own country, and other country which is the US and UK. Now we reflect and gain some idea and information through to this table. We're able to define what's the big differences and similarities in every country.